What's up, my friends? This is John Baruti Success. Bink. This week, we are going to talk about the top 10 books for an entrepreneur. Stay tuned. All right. So, John, what's up with the books? You a book nerd? I'm not a book nerd. I want to say reading, but I don't love reading. If that makes any sense. So I like information. I like to learn. I like to be informed. Not a great reader. And when they created Audible and audiobooks, that's when I really rang it up a notch. And I just love it. I love listening to books. I love getting information. And I think this is on the whole theme of the new year, creating a better you, making sure that you're really digging in deep for your business and your personal finances. And the way to do that is to get information. How do you get information? Reading people's books that have done it before. Inspiring, motivational, informative, all those things. Okay, so this is my top 10. There's a million top 10s out there. These are the top 10 books that I have read, listened to, and they're in no particular order. Okay, so not like number one is number one, although my number one is my number one because I read it at least once a year. I read a lot of these at least once a year, just to again refresh myself, so on and so forth. So let's get right into it. Okay. First, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, as the title says, how to win friends and influence people. Well, John, are we trying to teach people to only believe in what we're saying? No, Sally. We're trying to win friends and influence people. Listen, we are all salespeople. If you want to be a salesperson or not, you're a salesperson. I don't care if you have a automobile business, a cleaning business, you have a coffee shop at the end of the corner. You're in the sales business. And to better your attitude, right, is to win more sales and win more people and friends. And that's exactly what this book is explaining. It explains that you improve your attitude and everybody else's attitude will be miraculously improved around you. Great book, terrific read. And again, I'm going to put all the links down below. You can either go and get the book so you can feel the pages. I know a lot of people are like that. Or you can go to Audible and listen to them. It's a great way to expand your mind. Next book. This isn't, I don't see it as a classic, but I see it as almost necessary because the book is Crushing It by Gary Vee. The reason I say it's necessary is because everything you do these days relies on social media. I don't care, again, what you do, what you own. Even if you're not in business for yourself, but you're a 9-to-5er and you're trying to do a side hustle, social media is so important. And Gary Vee's Crushing It is basically a collection of when he was coming up and what he was preaching as far as how to with social media and the things that you should specifically do and people that listened to him and people that succeeded. And again, in business, entrepreneurship, sales, all of that stuff is included in this book. And again, it is so important for social media today. You can't have a business without it. You just can't. And if you do, listen, I'm not going to call anybody not successful, but if you really want to ratchet up your success, you'll embrace the social media and read Crushing It. It's a great book for that. Next one on the list is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I said this in another video. I'm not a fan of Robert's. I don't know if it's his personality. I don't know what it is. Regardless, a lot of people don't like me. Okay, so That means nothing. I think his book is a terrific book. It's one of the books that I read years and years ago. And it basically takes you through his process of his rich dad, which is his best friend's dad, which is an entrepreneur, and his poor dad, which is his real dad. And he was a professor at the local college, a PhD. And it gives you the mindset of the two different thought processes of an entrepreneur, somebody that wants you to thrive and push yourself and realize that, working for yourself is a terrific thing, and a PhD that, nothing against them. Listen, I went to Seton Hall. I had PhDs teaching me. But it's hard to take when a PhD tries to teach you business when they weren't in business or have never been in business. And this book not only does that, but it takes you through his 4 quadrants, which I think are very important in the fact that he sees assets and liabilities differently than most. And he sees things even like, and I don't agree with everything in every one of these books. Like, he disagrees with the fact that your personal home is an asset, not a liability. He sees it as a liability because he believes you can have that money working for you in another business or asset as like a investment home. I don't disagree with that, but I personally feel most people, 90% of people, are only going to have their home in their life, and that is an asset to them. And in 30 years, when they pay off that house, it is something that is an asset to them. So I agree and disagree, but that's the whole point of reading these books. You take your perspective and their perspective, and you learn and you grow. Okay. So again, Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Great book. Next one, I absolutely read this one or listen to it once a year. Again, this is old school, 1950s. It just doesn't change. The thought process of how to grow rich hasn't changed, and it's not hard. And this book is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Terrific author, wrote hundreds of books. I don't know about hundreds, but a lot of books. And this was his very first, and what I believe was one of his best. So it basically goes through a curation of 13 common habits. But it takes you down a road of listening to other entrepreneurs. I think there's like 500 entrepreneurs who he interviewed. And these are titans that he interviewed. And it gives you a thought process. And the funny thing is if you were a $1 billion company or a couple $100 million or $1 million or a few $100,000 company, the thought process for becoming a millionaire is almost the same. The tract is almost the same. And he gives you a lot of the habits of these people, and he walks you through it. And again, great book, and I read it at least once a year. Next book is number 5. Again, these are in no particular order. I just wrote them down as I was thinking of them. This particular book I just finished reading, Cant Hurt Me by David Goggins. This guy is a beast. It basically takes you through his life. And I've seen David Goggins on, Good Morning America and, his interviews and stuff on YouTube, but I never read the book. And I didn't realize how much of a shit life this guy had, who his father was and what he put him through. And it made me think that, no matter how tough, and I say this all the time, no matter how tough you think your life is, and how shitty it is, and all the things that people, John, you don't realize what I've gone through in my life. Listen, read this guy's book, and you ain't gone through shit, okay? Beatings and the mind screwing and just a horrible person his dad was. And the fact that he took that and turned it around and became, I believe, one of the strongest hardest person on the earth, and he says that he did what is called callousing your mind, which means that he made himself believe he could do anything. And even in the worst times, I mean, this guy was running on broken legs. Who does that? But he basically, set his mind to that. I can do that. I'm David Goggins, and I can do that. An amazingly motivational book. And a great read. I definitely would recommend that you get it. Next is the EMyth from Michael Gerber. So the EMyth basically is the entrepreneur's myth, right? The entrepreneur's myth of everybody that starts a business is an entrepreneur. Yeah, that's not the case. And to be honest with you, when I started my and listen, I've been doing businesses for I don't know, 12, 13 years old. And I've told somebody this, stealing newspapers and reselling them, or, trying to become a tennis pro at my dad's restaurant that had tennis courts outside. I tried every business. And I was a technician, which this book goes through. There are, two types of entrepreneurs: a true entrepreneur, which I believe I've become, and a technician, which is somebody that is fed up with their job, thinks they can do it better, and goes and buys themselves or works themselves into their own job. And this is important. And I don't know, I can't remember if he says you can't become one or the other, but if he does, that's not true. But it gives you the perspective of who you are and how to become a true entrepreneur, and the steps to take to do that. And I believe, and not reading this book, but I believe I became from a technician to an entrepreneur, a real mind of not having to do everything myself, and realizing I have to delegate, and learning how to delegate, and learning how to run a business, and not being, going from, I don't know, the quick example, going from a parts manager at a dealership to owning your own car parts business. Well, it's not that easy. There's so much more that goes into it. Just not ordering parts. Now you got the finances of it. You got the logistics of it. You have the physicalness of it. Now you have to deal with people. Oh, well, I dealt with people when... No. You were a manager of people before. Now you're not only a manager, now you're their boss, right? It's a difference. There's a difference. So EMyth, great book. Next, number 7, Millionaire Next Door. Now, this is more of a personal finance book, but I believe most entrepreneurs should read it. And the reason being is because this book explains that you don't have to have millions of dollars to become a millionaire. You can save, you can invest, as these are the things that I teach. These are the things that I want everybody to understand, that it is not hard to become a millionaire. And I say that with a straight face, that if you bear down and if you save every week, and if you scrimp, it's part of it. It's part of business, and it's part of personal finance. You're not splurging every 2 seconds. You're not buying anything at a whim. You're not going out to dinner every 2 nights or every night. And listen, I'm not here saying that you shouldn't enjoy your life. You should, but I'm a true believer in save now and reap later. I just am. Some people disagree with me. They're like, oh, and again, listen, you're just coming from a person that, almost lost his life 2 years ago with cancer. Not fun. So I understand living for today, but I also understand if you live for today, you might not have the finances for tomorrow, right? So Millionaire Next Door, it really, really dials down habits and the fact that you can, own a Ford pickup and be a millionaire in your assets with your house and your savings, and how to do that. Okay. Next, number 8 is Good to Great by Jim Collins. So this book basically it examines what takes an ordinary company to become an extraordinary company. So again, if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to improve your business, you're looking to have a terrific year, this is a great book. Okay, it basically is, it says good to great. How to make it from just being okay, like, yeah, okay, I'm getting through every day, to make it terrific, to make it that you're making what you want to make, that you're exceeding expectations, that you're bringing everybody along with you that is on your shoulders as employees, that you're plowing forward. And it's basically exactly the title, Going from Good to Great. Another great read. Number 9 is The Compound Effect. Okay, so again, the title explains it all. But Einstein said that compounding is the seventh wonder of the world, and he couldn't be any smarter. Listen, it's Einstein. So this is taking compound interest and putting it into compounding your life, compounding your business, compounding your bettering yourself. It's taking little tiny increments, and again, compound interest. People don't realize, John, I don't understand. You tell me to put $30, $50, $60 a week away every week. What's that going to get me? Well, George, saving little amounts for a long period of time, compound interest catches up. So the first year, not a lot. The 10th year, it's okay. The 15th year, the 20th year, it starts to exponentially compound. And, when you get closer to retirement or closer to the time that people, listen, everybody, I'm 53, right? I'll be 54 this year. 6, 7, 1, 2. Yeah, sorry. No, I'll be 53 this year. I'm 52. So I'm retired. Now, your average person retires in their 60s. You retire when you want to retire, when you're financially able to retire. And that's why I'm going down the list of all these things. But what I'm saying is that the compound effect is A, financially, B, personally, and C, business-wise, just that. Adding just a little bit every day, doing it just a little bit better, teaching your employees just a little bit more, having incremental improvements in your business, wowing your customers just a little bit more every day. You know what? How can I make my customers that much more happy with me today? Well, what do I got to do? Do I got to give a free bag of potato chips today? Do I have to, I don't know, back in the day, what were some of the things that I did? I can remember in the bakery, I gave away gift certificates to some of the restaurants that we were doing to other customers. So I was giving restaurant gift certificates to other customers in other restaurants for their competition. And they actually enjoyed that. They would go out on their nights off and go to other restaurants, and just little things that become a compounding that makes you and your business that much better. All right. Last but not least is The One Thing. Right. So The One Thing from Gary Keller. Okay. So this book basically is, I don't want to keep repeating it, but it is the one thing. What is your one thing that makes you extraordinarily better? And everybody's one thing is different. And this book takes you through, okay, it breaks it down. What is your one thing to make you extraordinary? What is your one thing to make you that much better than your competition? What is your one thing to take action and to achieve it? This book walks you through that. Again, it's basically the title. What is the one thing that is going to make you better than the next business, or just better as a person, or better in your finances, or, our whole goal here, it's not always money. It's to become a better person. It's to become a better neighbor. It's to become just a better human, right? And this book walks you through, what is that one thing? What is the little thing or the big thing that will help you go through that process? Okay, so those are my top 10 books. There are a ton of them besides this, but those are the 10 that made my list, and I hope it helped you. And listen, if you have a book that you think should have been on this list or you absolutely love that I might not have read, please put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear your opinions on the books that you read or the white papers that you have read that has really opened up and enlightened you, okay? So, we will see you on the next one.
We're getting smarter every day by reading. Getting smarter every day by reading. But I listen, I don't read.
I'll see you on the next one.